Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into the fascinating and honestly somewhat petty 70-year history of tech branding. We're going to reveal how today's multi-billion-dollar artificial intelligence boom is actually just a repetition of a Cold War rivalry. If you think the current tech landscape is all about raw, unfiltered innovation, well, you might be surprised to learn just how much of it simply comes down to a battle over words.
So if you really want to understand where those massive enterprise budgets are flowing today, we've got to ask a pretty provocative question about the very origins of the technology itself. What if the biggest breakthrough in AI wasn't a groundbreaking line of code at all, but just a really clever rebrand? To uncover the answer, we have to trace the origins of the term itself.
Section 1. The Dartmouth Branding Schism.
All right, let's step way back to the 1950s. The whole concept of thinking machines had just emerged, and it instantly sparked this fierce battle over what to actually call this new frontier. On one side, you had Norbert Wiener, a brilliant MIT mathematician who championed the term cybernetics. His vision was deeply rooted in biology, continuous feedback loops, and analog signals. On the flip side, you had John McCarthy. He championed artificial intelligence, focusing entirely on digital computation, formal logic, and symbolic representation. So, we had two fundamentally different paradigms clashing to define the future.
And this is where it gets kind of funny because it perfectly illustrates how personal technology can be. When McCarthy invented the term AI at the 1956 Dartmouth Conference, it wasn't purely scientific. It was basically a pragmatic maneuver. He wanted a wrapper for his research that escaped the shadow of Wiener. See, Wiener was notoriously difficult to work with. He was known for being socially awkward, and get this, he would famously snore out loud through his colleagues' lectures before waking up to ask disruptive questions. McCarthy literally just invented a new name so he wouldn't have to deal with him.
Moving into Section 2, Funding and the Cold War. Of course, this petty academic squabble didn't stay small for long. It was quickly amplified by the geopolitical realities of the era. Right after World War II, Norbert Wiener became deeply concerned about the militarization of science. He even published a famous letter explicitly stating he would refuse to participate in military-funded projects. Because of that pacifist stance, cybernetics was absolutely starved of funding. Meanwhile, McCarthy's fresh, unburdened artificial intelligence label successfully aligned itself with massive defense grants during the Cold War. So AI won the terminology war, not necessarily because it was inherently better, but because it secured the bag.
Section 3. The Great Cybernetic Irony.
Now, this history brings up a fundamental question for us today. Are modern generative models actually artificial intelligence the way John McCarthy envisioned it? Like, when we use modern tools, are we really utilizing purely digital logic and symbolic reasoning? Well, the answer is a resounding no. According to UC Berkeley's Michael I. Jordan, the machine learning that absolutely dominates our world today is actually Norbert Wiener's cybernetics agenda. Think about it. It relies on statistics, continuous pattern recognition, and error correction. But because of that 1950s funding war, it's merely draped in McCarthy's AI branding. We are literally living in a cybernetic reality, but we're paying for an AI marketing campaign.
Which brings us to Section 4, Databases Strike Back.
Let's look at how this plays out in the modern enterprise infrastructure stack today. Because just like McCarthy rebranded his work to capture military funding, today's traditional database giants are running the exact same playbook. Initially, the AI boom gave rise to standalone vector databases, specialized systems built specifically to handle AI data. But the legacy giants struck back hard. Postgres added PG Vector, Microsoft integrated DiskScan right into SQL Server. Oracle literally rebranded their entire platform to Oracle 26AI. They are crushing the specialized upstarts just by slapping AI labels on their legacy products, proving that traditional data management is still the foundation of the whole shebang.
Section 5, Telemetry, rebranded as AI Ops.
And we're seeing this exact same strategy unfold in telecommunications and distributed networks. Old-school network telemetry, which basically just pinged devices every 5 minutes to see if they were online, is being completely repackaged. Now it's heavily marketed as AI Ops and agentic AI. Underneath the hood, they're using statistical models to learn a network's normal rhythms and trigger automated fixes. It's classical, reliable control theory masquerading as sentient AI to secure lucrative enterprise contracts.
Section 6, The New AI Infrastructure.
The absolute crucial point to take away here is that AI is no longer just about writing clever software algorithms. It is a massive, logistical, physical, and financial beast. Let's put a number on that. $37.5 billion. Microsoft's capital expenditures surged by that staggering amount in a single quarter. And they aren't just buying software. They are pouring literal concrete and buying vast tracts of land to house the cooling systems and servers required to feed the immense electricity and computational demands of these models.
This massive shift from software to heavy physical logistics has essentially created an entirely new role, the AI infrastructure engineer. These folks are basically managing supercomputers in disguise. They don't just sit around thinking about lines of Python. They have to think in terms of megawatts, network throughput, and data resilience. They build the observability tooling to keep these massive systems stable, turning raw uptime into actual efficiency. It just proves that managing the sheer physical weight of compute is the real frontier today.
So this all brings us to a really critical crossroads. As we look at the immense physical constraints, the billions of dollars required to power these models, and the historical reality that our current technology is built on a 70-year-old branding trick, we really have to wonder. When the costs of this cybernetic reality become just too high to justify the AI hype, what happens next? Will the bubble finally burst? Or, as history so brilliantly illustrates, will the tech industry simply invent another clever name to keep the money flowing? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope this changes how you look at the technology driving our world.